Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to cover the most important questions of second week of March 2020. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app, and for regular updates and for revision related content, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description. Now let's start. Which state recently announced to provide credit guarantee of loans for higher education? So this decision was taken by Haryana government. Recently, Assam government also started similar scheme, and the name of that scheme was Abhinandan scheme. Which engineering college of India has obtained the highest rank in QS World Ranking? So right answer is IIT Mumbai. IIT Mumbai is the top Indian institute in engineering colleges across the globe. So IIT Mumbai is top in India, while in terms of arts and humanities, JNU, that is Jawaharlal Nehru University, is on top position. After the proposed amalgamation of 10 public sector banks into 4, what will be the total number of state-owned banks in our country? So the bank merger will be effective from 1st of April. And after this process, India will have 12 public sector banks. So right answer is 12. As per the recent Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas bill, what is the time limit within which taxpayers can pay the due tax? So the time limit is 31st of March 2020. It should be noted that it is a direct tax scheme. That means the scheme will be applicable only related to direct taxes, not related to indirect taxes. Sweta Rawat and Shalini Gupta, who were in news recently, are associated to which field? So these two are the DRDO scientists. DRDO stands for Defense Research and Development Organization, and it is under Defense Ministry. Recently, Defense Expo held in Lucknow, and during this expo, the India-African Nations Conclave was organized, and after that, Lucknow Declaration was signed for better cooperation between India and African nations in the field of defense. Which state has recently issued orders to limit the retail price of bottled drinking water? So this state is Kerala, and the state government has decided to set the upper limit of drinking water bottle. That means the upper price limit was set by the state government, and it is rupee 13 per litre. As per the recent amendment to FDI on civil aviation, what is the limit for NRI to purchase equity stakes in Air India? So recently government changed FDI norms in civil aviation sector. The previous FDI limit was 49%. Now it has been increased up to 100% for NRI. So now NRI can buy up to 100% equity stakes in Air India. The integrated sports complex named after Chief Minister Mr. P.A. Sangma is to come up in which Indian state? Right answer is Meghalaya. So this sports complex was in news as the foundation of this complex was set up in Meghalaya. It should be noted that the construction of this complex will be completed by 2022, and in the same year Meghalaya will be the host of National Games. Which city is the venue of India Pharma 2020 and India Medical Device 2020 conference and exhibition that was organized by Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers in association with FICCI? So right answer is Gandhinagar in Gujarat. So this event ended on 7th of March. National Safety Day is observed annually on which date? So it is observed on 4th of March, and the week is observed as National Safety Week, and the theme of this event was Enhance Safety and Health Performance. Which institution has announced a fast-track aid of $12 billion to combat coronavirus outbreak? So recently, this was announced by World Bank. Now the president of World Bank is David Malpass, and recently World Bank was also in news as the chief economist of World Bank, Ms. P.K. Goldberg, announced her resignation. Which international institution released a report, A New Era for Girls taking stock of 25 years of progress. So this report was released by UNICEF, that is United Nations Children's Fund. Javier Perez, who recently passed away, was the former chief of which organization? So he was the former chief of United Nations and he passed away recently in his native country, Peru. Peru is South American country. Nations present Secretary General is Antonio Guterres. The area of which city of Rajasthan was declared as no construction zone as per the recent Rajasthan Municipality Amendment Bill of 2020. So right answer is Jaipur. So Jaipur was declared as no construction zone. Now it should be noted that UNESCO had mandated to declare Rajasthan as a no construction zone. So this is done to protect and to preserve the heritage and to promote tourism in the state. Denis Shmyhal, who was in news recently, has been elected as the Prime Minister of which country? So he has been elected as the Prime Minister of Ukraine. Ukraine was also in news because of Crimea. The President of Ukraine is Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky. The recently released book titled Chronicles of Change Champions is a compilation of initiatives taken under which scheme? So this is related to Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme. And recently, Ms. Smriti Irani, who is a Women and Child Development Minister, released this Chronicles of Change Champions. It should be noted that this Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme was launched by Prime Minister Mr. Modi in 2015 in Panipat in Haryana. SCORES is a mobile application of which regulatory body of India? So it is a mobile application of SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, and it is a mobile application for assisting investors to enter the grievances in SEBI Complaints Redressal System. So the full form of SCORES is SEBI Complaints Redress System. Time magazine has named which Indian women as the Women of Year 1947 in its recent recreated list of world's 100 powerful women? Right answer is Miss Amrit Kaur. So Miss Amrit Kaur, who was a freedom fighter, has been named by the Time magazine as Women of the Year for 1947. Which airport of Maharashtra has been renamed as Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj Airport? So recently, Aurangabad Airport has been renamed as Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj Airport. It should be noted that Chhatrapati Sambhaji was the son of great Maratha warrior Chhatrapati Shivaji. Which Indian institute has developed an artificial intelligence powered drone to counter the unregulated unmanned drones? So this was done by IIT Madras, and with the help of this new system, it can hack into the GPS system of unregulated drones, which are also known as rogue drone. So with the help of system of IIT Madras, the GPS system of unregulated drones can be hacked, and then it can be directed to change the path of that unregulated drone. Which is India's fifth largest private sector bank that is under crisis and for which the Reserve Bank of India is devising a revival plan? So right answer is Yes Bank. And the founder of Yes Bank, Mr. Rana Kapoor, was recently arrested by ED. According to the recent estimates, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which economy is the most affected economy by coronavirus outbreak? So as per the report, EU, that is European Union, is the most affected economy due to coronavirus outbreak, while USA is the second most affected and Japan is the third most affected country. Darren Tang of Singapore has been nominated as the new Director General of which global organization? So he has been named as the new DG of WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization. And Mr. Darren Tang is from Singapore. If we talk about WIPO, it was formed in 1967 and the headquarters of WIPO is in Geneva. Geneva is in Switzerland. Who has been appointed as new Chief Information Commissioner of India after Mr. Sudhir Bhargav? Right answer is Mr. Bimal Julka. So Mr. Bimal Julka has been appointed as new CIC. It should be noted that CIC is the Chief Information Commissioner and he is the head of Central Information Commission. Which leader has been named greatest leader of all time in a poll conducted by BBC World Histories magazine? Right answer is Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So as per this poll conducted by BBC, the 19th century ruler of Sikh Empire in India, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, has been named as the greatest leader of all time. Which Indian business leader received an award for excellence in business by Egypt government at the Women Economic Forum 2020? Right answer is Dr. Beena Modi. She is the chairperson of Modi Enterprises and recently she was awarded at the Women Economic Forum 2020. Google is set to launch its second cloud region in which Indian city? Right answer is Delhi. So this one is going to be the second cloud region in our country. The first one is in Mumbai. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Urban Livelihood Mission recently partnered with which e-commerce company for marketing products of SHG? SHG stands for Self-Help Group. So recently Amazon partnered with Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Urban Livelihood Mission, and through this partnership the platform of Amazon will be used for the marketing of products of self-help groups. Which Indian sportsperson has been named Sportsperson of the Year at Times of India Sports Awards? Right answer is PV Sindhu. So she was named Sportsperson of the Year at Times of India Sports Awards. The recently announced Indo-European Union flagship call is associated with which field? So it is associated to energy, and recently it was announced by the Secretary of Department of Science and Technology and by the European Ambassador to India. Women Transforming India Awards is instituted by which organization? So it is instituted by Niti Aayog, and this was presented on the International Women's Day, that means on 8th of March. PEMFC, that is Polymer Electrolyte Membrane Fuel Cells, which was making news recently, is to be deployed in which field? So it is associated to disaster management, and a research center under Department of Science and Technology has developed this, and it is useful in natural disaster management. Which organization announced a $50 billion package for low-income countries to combat coronavirus outbreak through its rapid disbursing emergency financing facilities? So right answer is IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. So the funding amount is $50 billion. Namaste Orcha festival is celebrated in which Indian state? So it is celebrated in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh was also in news as recently India's first e-waste clinic was set up in Madhya Pradesh, and it is collaboration between Bhopal Municipal Corporation and CPCB. Chapchar Kut is a popular festival of which Indian state or union territory? So it is a popular festival of Mizoram, and it is celebrated to welcome the spring season. Bipasa Chakrabarti was recently appointed as the Communications Director of which technological company's Indian arm? So right answer is Facebook India. So Ms. Bipasa Chakrabarti has been appointed as the Communication Director of Facebook India. In the context of recent Supreme Court ruling on right of an organization to receive foreign contributions, what does FCRA stands for? So FCRA stands for Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, and recently Supreme Court ruled that an organization supporting the public cause by the legitimate means of opposition like bandh or with the help of hartal cannot be deprived of its right to receive foreign funding. Who is the chairperson of recently reconstituted National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction? Right answer is Union Home Minister. So Mr. Amit Shah is the chairperson of recently reconstituted National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction. The Ministry of Women and Child Development organized a discussion on the future of work, women in India's workforce, in association with which global organization? So, for this, Ministry of Women and Child Development partnered with the World Bank. Present Minister of Women and Child Development is Ms. Smriti Irani. Her constituency is Amethi. Amethi is in Uttar Pradesh. What is the theme of campaign conducted by Indian Railways to celebrate International Women's Day? So the name of this campaign is Each for Equal, and this campaign started from 1st of March to 10th of March to celebrate the International Women's Day, and International Women's Day is celebrated on 8th of March, and the theme of this campaign is Each for Equal. Which state or union territory has recently launched a school health education plan called Student Health Card? So the name of this union territory is Jammu and Kashmir. So this initiative has been started by the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. What is the profession of Barry John, who is recently selected for the Lifetime Achievement Honor in 2020 Meta Awards? So right answer is Theatre Director. So Mr. Barry John is Theatre Director, and Meta stands for Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards. According to the recent study of United Nations Global Compact, India, what is the female labor force participation in our country in 2020? So right answer is 24.8%. So as per the study conducted by UNGC India, the female labor force participation in our country has declined from 34% in 2006 to 24.8% in 2020. What is the rank of India in the Freedom in World 2020 report, which is published by US-based NGO Freedom House? So India's ranking is 83rd. Now this report is published by US-based NGO Freedom House. Which country recently announced an emergency fund of $8.3 billion for tackling the coronavirus outbreak? So this country is USA. Now this outbreak of coronavirus started from Wuhan in China. What is the new official name of Mars 2020 rover of NASA? So the official name is Perseverance. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is a space agency of USA. Now if we talk about this rover, so it is going to search the sign of microbial life on Mars. Mars is also known as Red Planet. Namaste is a portal of which Union Ministry of India? So it is a portal of Ministry of Ayush, and this Namaste stands for National Ayush Morbidity and Standardized Terminologies Electronic Portal. So it has been developed by Ministry of Ayush. Which state has recently announced subsidy for orthodox tea growers in its budget? So this state is Assam, and during its budget it provided special subsidy initiatives for the orthodox tea growers to provide them financial support. Now Assam was also in news as it was the host of this year's Khelo India Youth Games. Which state launched an initiative called Safe Homes to provide safe accommodation to the inter-caste and inter-religious couples? So this is an initiative of Kerala government to provide accommodation to the couples who have married outside their caste or religion. So the objective is to ensure their safety and security. BARC, which has been named as the top NGO of the world, is from which country? So Bangladesh. Secured the first position for the 5th consecutive year, and it is a international development organization. It was set up in 1972, and this NGO aimed at helping the returning of war refugees with help and rehabilitation projects. So it is a Bangladesh-based NGO. Now if we talk about Bangladesh, Bangladesh was also in news as it became the first state in South Asia to start e-passport service. Apart from that, Bangladesh was also in news as recently Bangladesh team won Under 19 Cricket World Cup. Which state has recently launched a digital literacy program titled I Am Also Digital? So, it is a digital literacy initiative of Kerala government, and the pilot project will be launched in Thiruvananthapuram City Corporation. The renovated Animal Transport Memorial was recently inaugurated by the Indian Army in which city? So, it was inaugurated in Bengaluru. Now, Bengaluru is in Karnataka. It should be noted that 26th of September has been nominated as the Animal Transport Remembrance Day. The book titled Adventures of Daredevil Democrat, which was recently published, narrates the story of which former chief minister? So this particular book narrates the story of Mr. Biju Patnaik, and this book was recently released by the present chief minister of Odisha, Mr. Naveen Patnaik. Mr. Naveen Patnaik is the son of Mr. Biju Patnaik. Who is the chairperson of high-level panel recently set up to prepare an investigation manual for Serious Fraud Investigation Office? So, recently, government constituted a 12-member high-level panel to prepare an investigation manual for SFIO. Avni Chaturvedi, Bhavna Kant and Mohana Singh, who recently received the Nari Shakti Puruskar Award, are associated with which profession? So, these ladies were in news recently as they are fighter pilots. And recently, President Mr. Ramnath Kovind presented the Nari Shakti Puruskar on the occasion of International Women's Day. That means on 8th of March. Which city was the venue of conference on empowering women entrepreneurs that was organized by MSME Ministry? So this conference held in New Delhi, and this conference was organized by Ministry of MSME in collaboration with various other organizations, and MSME Minister Mr. Nitin Gadkari inaugurated this conference. Women Scientist Scheme and Vigyan Jyoti are the schemes of which union ministry? So these are the schemes of Ministry of Science and Technology. Actually, recently these schemes were in news as Union Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Harshvardhan launched a new helpline, and this helpline aims at assisting women students, researchers and scientists to get their queries answered related to the schemes of Ministry of Science and Technology. Hansraj Bharadwaj, who passed away recently, was the former Union Minister of which portfolio? So, Mr. Hansraj Bharadwaj was the former Union Minister of Law and Justice, and he was associated to INC, that is Indian National Congress, and he passed away recently. Who is the first Indian cricketer to play in 150 Ranji Trophy matches? So, Mr. Wasim Jaffer is the first Indian cricketer to play 150 Ranji Trophy matches. Now, recently he was in news as he announced his retirement from all forms of the game. Which Indian sportsperson was named the Changemaker of Year at Business Line Changemaker Awards? So, right answer is Duti Chand. So, Indian athlete Duti Chand was awarded Changemaker of the Year jointly with ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization. Who is the head of Delimitation Commission that was recently set up to redraw the Lok Sabha and Assembly constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir and 4 northeastern states? So, right answer is Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai. So, Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai is going to be the head of this Delimitation Commission for the redrawal of constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir and 4 northeast states. India recently joined the Indian Ocean Commission as observer. Now, the question is IOC comprises of how many member nations? So, right answer is 5. So, IOC comprises of 5 African Indian Ocean nations. These are Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, Reunion Islands and Seychelles, and recently India became the observer. The recently launched Mahatma Gandhi National Fellowship Program is a part of Sankalp scheme of which Union Ministry? So, it is a part of Sankalp scheme of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. And as per this initiative, the district level programs are developed to provide skill to the manpower. Which female hockey player won the Dhruv Batra Player of the Year Award 2019 at Hockey India Annual Awards? So, right answer is Rani Rampal. So, the present captain of India's hockey team, Miss Rani Rampal, was selected for this particular award. So, she was selected in female category, while in male category, Mr. Manpreet Singh was awarded. Which country's cricket team won the Women's T20 World Cup? So, Australia won it by defeating India. And this tournament held in Australia. Now, apart from this, recently Bangladesh won the Under-19 Cricket World Cup by defeating India. Pword, a skill development program for women, is launched by which major technological company? So, this initiative is an initiative of Google, and the objective of this initiative is to provide a skill development program for women who seek to return to their corporate careers after a break or who are planning to shift to digital marketing career. C.V. Nageshwar was recently appointed as the Deputy MD and CFO of which Indian bank? So, Mr. Nageshwar has been given the additional charge of Deputy MD and CFO of State Bank of India. Now, recently SBI was also in news as it is going to invest in Yes Bank. SBI is going to pick up 49% in Yes Bank. Now, Yes Bank was in news recently as RBI put Yes Bank in moratorium. Who is the first super heavyweight Indian boxer to qualify for Olympic Games? Right answer is Mr. Satish Kumar. So, Mr. Satish Kumar is the first super heavyweight, that means in 91 plus kg category. So, Mr. Satish Kumar is the first super heavyweight Indian boxer to qualify for Tokyo Olympic Games. Kowa Punjab mobile app launched by Punjab Government is aimed to spread awareness on which disease? So, this mobile application has been launched by the state government of Punjab to spread awareness about coronavirus. Now, if we talk about Punjab government, recently it was also in news as it passed resolution against CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act. Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon has been recently appointed as the Director General of which organization? Right answer is DIA, that is Defense Intelligence Agency. So, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon has been appointed as the DG of Tri-Services Organization DIA, that means Defense Intelligence Agency. Sadi Bhagya scheme, which was making news recently, is a scheme of which state government? So, it is a scheme of Karnataka state government. And the objective of this particular initiative is to provide the financial assistance to the brides for marriage expenses. Which country recently joined as the 16th member in Evita Bharati Arogya Bharati network of MEA, that is Ministry of External Affairs? So, right answer is Gambia. So, this is an initiative of Ministry of External Affairs. The tombs of Taramati and Premamati, which were in news recently, are in which state of India? So, these are in Telangana. And recently, these tombs were in news as recently the US Ambassador to India announced the completion of US funded restoration project of the tombs of Taramati and Premamati within the Qutub Shahi Tombs Complex, and it is in Hyderabad in Telangana. What is the theme of International Women's Day? Right answer is I am Generation Equality Realizing Women's Rights. So every year on 8th of March, International Women's Day is celebrated, and the theme of this year was I am generation equality, realizing women's right. Ankita Raina, who was in news recently, is associated to which sports? So C is associated to tennis. Which state is to set up an exclusive department for self-help group called Mission Shakti? So recently, Odisha decided to set up an exclusive department for self-help group. The traditional festival Fagli is celebrated in which Indian state? So it is celebrated in Himachal Pradesh, and it is celebrated to mark the beginning of Spring Festival. Nupur Kulsrestha has become the first woman Deputy Inspector General of which Indian Armed Force or CAPF? Right answer is Indian Coast Guard. So she became the first woman to be promoted as DIG of Indian Coast Guard. UNSC has recently approved the resolution of which country on its deal with Taliban? So Taliban is a militant group of Afghanistan, and recently Taliban and USA signed peace deal, and recently this peace deal was approved through the resolution of UNSC. So right answer is US. Which global organization recently adopted a political declaration on women's rights? So this is done by United Nations, and this adopted declaration follows the theme of Beijing Declaration of 1995, and this declaration sought to promote progress of women around the world. As per the Trends in International Arms Transfer Report, which country was the largest arms importer during 2015 to 2019? So as per this report of SIPRI, Saudi Arabia is the largest arms importer, while India is on second position in terms of arms import. Which is the national slogan of Bangladesh as per the order of Bangladesh High Court? So High Court of Bangladesh ruled that Joy Bangla will be the national slogan of Bangladesh. Which Indian sports person won the inaugural BBC Indian Sportswoman of the Year award? So right answer is Miss PV Sindhu. So she won the first edition of BBC Indian Sportswoman of the Year award, and in 2019 Miss PV Sindhu became the first Indian to win Badminton World Championship gold. Who is the only Indian player to feature in ICC Women's T20 World Cup team of the tournament? Right answer is Poonam Yadav. So she is the only Indian player to feature in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup team of the tournament. Nigah, a mobile application to curb election malpractices, is an initiative of which Indian state? So it is an initiative of Andhra Pradesh, and through this mobile application, any person can file complaint about the corruption during an election campaign. Now, if we talk about few other apps which were in news recently RBI launched Money App to help visually challenged people to identify currency notes. As per the recent Inclusive Internet Index 2020 of EIU, that is Economist Intelligence Unit, which is the best performing country in the world? So right answer is Sweden. Sweden is the best performing country, and Sweden is followed by New Zealand and USA. India is on 46th position this year. So these were the most important questions of second week of March. Thank you, and that's all for the day.